What's up, ladies and gentlemen? How y'all doing? Today, I'm bringing hood stories back. Now, I was talking to my friend from when I was a chaplain at a prison. He's a retired correctional officer, and of course, I'm a former chaplain. And I was telling him that some of the hood stories I don't want to put out there in public, simply because not because it's something I did that was crazy or wrong. It's simply because some of the things that went down, I don't want the young and misguided to take notes and actually try to do them things themselves and get themselves killed. And that's why. But today I'm going to share a story that I haven't never shared. And it's basically a story about when I was about 21 years old. I think that year, the first year I bought guns or got my license to buy guns in New Jersey, um, I probably bought about 3 or 4 guns in one year. I did the typical newbie gun guy stuff, and I went gun happy, right? I wasn't even making a whole lot of money back then, but I went gun happy because I said, so I worked hard for every single penny and dime that I scratched together. So let me go, I have a new hobby, right? So, okay, me and Sneaky Pete. I told you guys about Sneaky Pete. My first gun was a Argentine high power 9 millimeter. That's I guess you said large size 9 millimeter, standard size, or full size 9 millimeter. And basically, I used to carry it on my person, but it was too big. It was just, especially during the summertime, like now, it's 80, 90 degrees. I'm trying to carry it, and I've got waistband, the elastic waistband of shorts or jogging pants on or whatever it is. Back then it was like sweatsuits and stuff like that, and so it was just too big and heavy. So that's why I switched to bought Beretta 21A 25 caliber. So one day, me and Sneaky Pete, we're out there in the street, you know, and I met a young lady. I had been trying to get with her for a while. This is before Christ Day, so don't judge me. You know what I'm saying? We all have a past, right? And a lot of us have a present. So now, so basically, I took this girl. I want to actually get to the place where I was stranded. I wound up being stranded in Camden out in an industrial park with this girl after we had did something, you know. But basically, after we were done what we were doing, what we were doing, tried to start my car, but the battery was dead. And unfortunately, I was on the edge of one of the areas of Camden where we did not have a great relationship with the guys I hung out with in Pollock Town did not necessarily have a good relationship with the guys from Parkside, which is right next to um, Pollock Town. It was a set called Wildwood, and I had beef personally with a couple of guys on Wildwood. I actually had one of them robbed one of my boys. Hold on a second. I had to drink some water. So one of my boys was out there. His name was Big Tim. He passed recently, and he was out on the stoop on where my boys used to sell drugs. He didn't sell drugs. He was a barber at that point, and he was out there with his Gucci um, gold chains, pretty big, really nice. He had it for probably 10, 15 years, and some of the guys from Wildwood came over to him because they was always beefing with him because he was always basically smashing their girlfriends or some girl, some pretty chick. So they always had a beef with him, but they really didn't ever really touch him because of his brother's Philly Phil. Because Philly Phil has a reputation, he'll sneak up. You get lock your house down if you had a fort. All of a sudden, if Philly Phil is mad at you, but when you tuck yourself into the bed, he'll be lying next to you with a pistol in your head. That's the type of dude Philly Phil is like. He always sneaking up on somebody. How you do that? And nobody knows. He just shows up, pops up, right? So he really didn't lay hands on him. But at this point, for some reason, they tested that relationship with his brother. They came up to him and they ripped the chain off his neck because my boy Tim, Big Tim, he never like he wasn't no punk. He wasn't going to be like, oh y'all, it's five of y'all, and so what? You got a gun. And, a lot of dudes I know is like they don't care if you have a gun. If you think, let me put it this way, you better learn how to fight before you use a gun because I know guys, including myself. If you pull a gun on me, it doesn't necessarily mean I'm going to capitulate. You will get punched in your face. You can get punched in the face so hard that I'm trying to kill you. And it's the same thing with a lot of guys that I know. If you put them in jeopardy, you put them, in their life in jeopardy and stuff like that, they'll try to kill you. They don't care if you have a gun or not. And that's what happened that day is that they pulled a gun on him. There was five of them. They were beefing over some girl that, wasn't anybody's girl. And she was up for grabs, apparently. And basically, so they snatched his Gucci chain, beautiful chain, expensive chain, and then they walked off like a punk, like punks. And they didn't even hit him, didn't even touch him, right? So, we got wind of what happened. I was immediately pissed. His brother Phil was actually planning on doing something, but before he could, do what he was going to do, I actually snatched up my boy Tim, put him in my car, and I went looking for him. So I jumped out the car I actually went down the wrong side of the street, parked, jumped out, and I said, "Listen," I told him, I said, "Listen, he ain't no drug dealer. I ain't no drug dealer." And I told there was a whole set of dudes out there, right? When they saw me get out the car, they knew who I was. They basically backed themselves into a store doorway, because it was on Hatton Avenue. They were so scared when they saw me get out the car, they didn't know what to do. So apparently none of them had a gun on them or something. So at that point, right? So they crowded into a doorway, and I said, "Listen, man, it's like this." I said, "You stole my boy's chain. He ain't bother nobody. He's a barber. He don't bother nobody. So I'm gonna give y'all a day before you return his chain. Because if you don't give back his chain in a day, it's on and popping." I just straight up told her I was so mad. You know what I'm saying? Because a lot of times when you live in the inner city, the dudes that do dirt stuff, the drug dealers or the stick up boys, they think they rule everything. They think they're the king of the city or neighborhood. They think that they are special. And I was never with that. I never capitulated to that nonsense. So what I did was I gave them an ultimatum, and they knew I was serious because they had known that I actually, oh man, I used to combat like it was a gang in Canada called Eight Ball. You know what I'm saying? Look, the stuff I did to them, and they never looked at me again. A gang called 3-2, one of their main members, I punked him too. So, and I was just solo. I didn't never ask none of my boys that sold drugs or anything or did stick ups or anything to help me. I always rolled solo, and that scared people. They've never seen anybody that was that aggressive just come at somebody by themselves. And I never drank, I never smoked weed, I never used cocaine, nothing. You know what I'm saying? And they were afraid. So I had beef with them because the next day the dude did show up and the chain was in pieces, And actually my boy Tim was like, "Man, I don't want it. I'm gonna buy a better one." And that's what he did. He told him, "Nah, keep it, keep it." He was just happy that they knew what was about to go down if they didn't return. So his brother heard what I did. He was laughing his behind off when he said, "You crazy, man. You always doing something that's unexpected." I said, "Yeah, that's just me. I don't need help. I just do it myself, right?" So he got his chain, but he rejected. He told him to keep it, and my boy Philly Phil, he was like, "All right, I'm gonna chill out since they did return it, and they actually apologized to Tim." So I basically was the one with the beef, but I wasn't worried about it. I was strapped 24/7 anyway, right? So one day I was out at that abandoned, what we call an industrial park out in that side of town, and the car would not start. The chick got mad, so she had to go walk home, but she only lived maybe 2, 3 blocks. She was from Parkside, so it didn't matter, right? So I'm stuck out there. My car is dead because the battery was bad, and So, gentlemen, if you're gonna be out there wheeling and dealing or whatever you're doing, make sure your car is straight. You know what I'm saying? Because I had to walk a quarter mile through enemy territory by myself on foot, right? So I'm hoofing, a quarter mile through, and I had to actually cross Wildwood, the street called Wildwood, where it was a major set called Wildwood. I had to cross Wildwood to actually basically get to where my boys was in Polite Town to get them to drive me back and get me a jump. And I had Sneaky Pete with me. Thank God I had a gun with me because if one of them people and see, and it was a Saturday night, it was about 85 degrees, so everybody's outside the house, having fun, sitting on the step, drinking beer, talking, some people barbecue in the backyard, so everybody's out. So when you have beef like that, what happens is people will run and tell the person you have beef with, and then they'll go track you down. So I could have been tracked down in enemy territory and killed that night. You know what I'm saying? So the biggest mistake I did was one, being too bold because I was young, being in enemy territory, and not having my car straight. That was two stupid things. But Sneaky Pete got me all the way through the streets that night. So that's one of my stories about Sneaky Pete. Get yourself a Sneaky Pete. God bless you. Remember, Jesus is coming soon. All of the things that's going on in this world right now is evidence that the birth pains, the woes are upon us. So God bless you. Repent. Accept Jesus Christ as your Lord and Savior because you do not want to go to hell and see that white throne of judgment. So God bless you. See you guys later. Peace.